Tonight on CTV News, does the New Brighton beachfront need a multi-million-dollar boardwalk? An Aranui youth agency gets a much-needed leg up from the Red Cross, and can the Canterbury Rams do it again?
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, I'm Marcus Gibbs. A 16-kilometre promenade connecting Spencer Park with South Shore could one day become a reality, thanks to the hard work of a local community group who've put the plans together. Now all they need is the council's tick of approval. Imagine a 9-metre wide track running along these dunes. In fact, imagine the dunes flattened with dozens of families filling the track. That's the vision of a local community group who want to see the idea turned into a reality, starting with a $2.4 million trial.
Big picture projects usually have to start small. Therefore, we are proposing a pilot project. This map shows the area we are proposing, 900 metres between Waimari and North Beach Surf Clubs.
The group presented their deputation to the council as part of the draft long-term plan hearings and received a positive reaction from councillors and the mayor.
Firstly, I just want to congratulate the team for a great presentation.
Inspiring stuff, and you've got a good track record there, partnership with council and the actual delivery of a project too.
It's not the first time the Trust has worked with the council. They've already managed the $1.2 million refurbishment of the North New Brighton War Memorial Hall and Community Centre. This promenade is their next big project. The track would make the beach accessible to cyclists, walkers and wheelchairs, and two young mothers who live opposite North Beach are keen to see it built within the next year. Right now they have to carry their baby buggies up and over the dunes. It's not easy.
Walking out the sand dunes, we can't get our prams up. The steps aren't easy to get up.
A promenade would make life a lot easier and give their babies a fantastic seaside experience.
It's so much easier just to get up onto the top, have a real nice surface to walk on. Just wouldn't have any problems with the soft sand or narrow tracks.
The women already have a walking group, and right now it's too hard for them to all get over the dunes.
Last week we had 8 of us friends wandering the paths because we couldn't come up here, but yeah, there's a lot of us that use the track, use the beach.
If the trial is successful, the promenade could be extended the entire 19-kilometre length of sand dunes to Spencer Park. Yes, New Brighton, that includes your pier as well.
Distance between the pier and North Beach would be absolutely fantastic with regards to, we've got the pier, we've got visitors going there, and to spread that along would be absolutely wonderful.
Local New Brighton residents support the idea of the promenade. They think it sounds and looks amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be nice. So, like Sumner, because New Brighton needs to be a bit more like Sumner.
Yeah, no, that'd be nice.
I think it would be great for everybody and anyone to use it.
The local florist would love this promenade to bring life back to New Brighton.
Tidying it up, beautifying it. I mean, here where we've got seats for people to sit, those sorts of things, seats, good rubbish bins.
But another local business manager isn't supportive of the idea, which could see the sand dunes cleared.
I'm sort of over this, let's move this mountain and divert this river, and I think it's obvious since the earthquake that the land is changing, and we sort of have to work with what's happening.
The possibility of extra visitors, not enough to sway her.
We definitely want more tourists to come out and have a look at Brighton, but yeah, I think that if we have to compromise the land, then we need to rethink.
Before the council signs off on the project, a $40,000 feasibility study would need to run to make sure the project is economical and has the support of Environment Canterbury, Ngāi Tahu and residents. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News. The opening of the new Christchurch bus exchange has been delayed. The Anchor project was due to open next Monday, but Sarah says software glitches have pushed this out. Acting Director of the Christchurch Central Development Unit, Baden Hewitt, says the postponement is hugely disappointing. A new opening date is yet to be announced, but in the meantime, bus services will continue unaffected. And in other news now, a number of community organisations around Christchurch have received funding from the Red Cross to help assist them with their operations. And an Aranui youth group is one of the biggest grant beneficiaries, helping it support young people and hopefully expand its facility. Here's Jared McCulloch.
This Aranui tutor spends his day in this recently opened workshop, providing life skills through carving for keen young students in the community. It's a bright future ahead for Crossroads Youth with a Future Trust, with the grant helping them grow to a new level of learning. And he says it's a step forward to help support young people in the area.
Hopefully some satisfaction about cultural identity, initially, and learning some life skills as well.
He's been a part of the Trust since 2006, volunteering as a mentor for the organisation, and then he was asked to start up a carving workshop.
Now it's becoming an extension of the organisation. When he said it, I don't have any phonograph, I said, no, don't worry about it. No, but I'll just do it for love.
And with his generosity, 2 months ago, this workshop opened, equipped with the latest machinery and tools. Now they're looking to expand, securing funds from the Red Cross, which was rolled out recently, seeing the Trust receive an $80,000 grant from the $2 million pool. And he says he's blown away by the support from funders to provide a safe and fun learning environment leading into the future.
Opens up new doors for me to start thinking about these ideas that I want to put in play and just go for it.
One of his students has only joined a few months ago, taking up the opportunity to learn life skills.
It gives us time to show people what we really like, instead of knowing us as people that hang out on the streets.
His goal is to turn this room into an art heaven, displaying a number of carving works on every wall. This work was created by a team of girls, made over a 1.5-year period.
We're going to create some new initiatives because this funding's here for 2 years, so we want to be sustainable and self-sufficient within that time.
And he says without the funding, it would have been a different story.
I would still be doing it, mate. Regardless.
There are plans in place for the Trust to sustain itself financially into the future, with consent already with Council to reopen this cafe, a building down from the organisation's headquarters. But until they get the tick of approval, he wants to spend the time introducing art to the students.
Reconnecting the old lines that I just left behind. And it's going to be great fun because the students are going to be part of that. It's all inclusive. Everything that I do, they're going to see and experience, meeting new artists, going out to the galleries, and just working on work.
In the meantime, they'll be working out of this garage, and there could be another one right next door. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
After the break, a giant squid has washed up on a Kaikoura beach. Welcome back. A giant squid's body has washed onto a Kaikoura beach. With tentacles more than 5 metres long, it's no surprise the giant sea creature has attracted dozens of locals to take a look and pose for photos. Its body is more than 2 metres long and since been moved to the Kaikoura Marine Centre and Aquarium, and it's now safe inside a freezer. Visitors will be able to see it until the aquarium decides what to do with its great find. And in other news, in sports news actually, the Canterbury Rams have a new trophy in the cabinet after last weekend's road trip. Here's Gordon Findlater with the details.
The Canterbury Rams had a bag of mixed results last weekend, with 2 road games bringing a loss in Southland, while the side pulled off a remarkable win in Wellington, dropping 35 points in the final quarter to get the come-from-behind win. Assistant coach Caleb Harrison put the final quarter heroics down to strong rebounding, led by American import Mikal Gladness.
Mikal's one of the best defensive players in the world. We're so fortunate to have someone of his calibre. There's a reason why he played for the Miami Heat in the NBA, because he's in the top. He's in the best players on the defensive end. So we're just ecstatic to have him. But when anyone has rebounding performances like that, it's because everyone else is blocked out. So when the guards block out, the guards rebound, then it means Mikal can go and do his job and pull them down.
With 17 points to go along with his 12 rebounds, 2 blocks and 2 steals against the Saints, Gladness is enjoying his offensive-orientated role he's been given with the Rams.
It helps to have the confidence from the coach and from my teammates to knock down the shots. I always haven't necessarily had that in every team I've been to, but to have that freedom and that confidence behind me that I know that if I take a shot, especially if it's a good shot, then it's no problem. Just keep going and keep playing.
The win in Wellington saw the Rams bring home the Gordon Huntley Trophy, a prize set up between the two sides last season, which honours the great rivalry highlighted by a number of title battles in the late 80s 80s and early 90s.
So Gilbert Gordon and Clyde Huntley played for both the Wellington Saints and the Canterbury Rams. So in memory of their great playing careers, we play off for that every time we go against. So it's nice bringing the trophy home. Not many teams go to Wellington and win. You go in there and all the NBL championship banners are there. There's 3,000 people. They've got all that history on their side. So we're really pleased to perform like that and come back with the win.
The Rams are back at home this Saturday as they look to continue their push for a playoff spot when they take on the Hawke's Bay Hawks. 3 games into his Rams tenure, American guard Jermaine Taylor has struggled to find the scoring form many were expecting to see from the former NBA player. Taylor explains, though, that his health is not yet at 100%.
I tore my ACL and meniscus, and I'm right at 15 months. A lot of guys don't come back from this injury until 14, 15 months, but I came back in 7. So, like I'm still healing. A lot of people see me out there and they think, okay, he's 100%, but I haven't played 100% since my injury.
With Taylor arriving in the city on short notice, fellow import Mikal Gladness expected Taylor to need some time to adjust, but he's confident the star will shine brightly in the near future.
I think he still needs a little bit more time. Of course, a lot of people out on the outside looking in say a little more time, he's a professional, but hey, everywhere is different. So I'm confident, very confident JT will get together. And we've seen flashes here and there, so just the more flashes we see, then the closer you'll get to the NBA JT and the score that we know.
Saturday's match against the Hawks gets underway at 7 p.m. from Cal Stadium. Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
The Christchurch City Council is ready to start discussions with the Ministry of Education over relocating Avonside Girls and Shirley Boys High Schools to part of Kiwitu Park. The Mayor and Council Chief Executive will meet with the Ministry of Education and the 2 schools to explore a range of options regarding the sale of part of Kiwitu Park. Construction of the Eastern Recreation and Sports Centre on the same site is due to begin next year. Still to come, the week's business roundup and your region's weather. Welcome back. The Mainland Tactics were back at training today. Monday night's match may not have brought the result, but the side is looking to build on the bright performance. Here's Gordon with the details.
The Mainland Tactics head across the ditch this weekend for a tough matchup against the New South Wales Swifts in Sydney. On Monday, the side went down narrowly, 51 points to 48 against the Central Pulse. After trailing by 7 after the first quarter, the changes were rung with the Tactics then playing arguably the better netball for a large portion of the match. With just 3 games remaining though to get that elusive win, the side aren't letting the string of losses get them down.
We're really good at, coming together as a team after obviously it is so disappointing week in, week out when we get so close to those wins but then just don't quite finish it off. But the girls are fantastic and getting together after a game and just cracking some jokes and kind of moving on to the next one and just kind of taking the best things out of it and learning from the other stuff.
It was the third quarter of the match that got the Tactics back in the game as the side looked to exploit the Pulse's fitness levels with the use of impact players. One of those impact players was Zoe Walker, who after a late entry into the game grabbed 2 intercepts and 2 deflections to limit the Pulse to just 9 points in the final quarter.
They are a team, I guess, that does tire a bit, so we thought that bringing in those impact players just throughout the game to keep them guessing and having fresh legs on all the time was in the game plan.
Walker's display was highlighted by a perfectly timed block rarely seen on the court. She hinted to experience in another sport that helps her get up.
Yeah, I've always kind of had a bit of luck there. Back when I played for Tasman, NPC team, my coach Nick Kelly was actually the one who kind of taught me the skill, and I guess maybe with a bit of volleyball background, just getting the timing.
The side's next match takes place this Sunday in Sydney. And when asked how desperate they are for that elusive win,
so desperate. I think, it is frustrating because we absolutely know that we have what it takes, and we've just shown it. It's like we say week in and week out, it's just stringing together a 60-minute performance, but we have it, so we're just so close.
Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
Here's Warren Head with the week's business roundup.
I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. Well, the big splash in the business news midweek was all about the Reserve Bank again and what their feelings were about the Auckland property market. And they're going to bring in some measures up there, applying from the 1st of October. Christchurch appears to have escaped any particular restraints, but in Auckland, the restraints will tighten up on housing investors. They're now going to be required to have a 30% deposit for anything they buy up there, and owner-occupiers in the Auckland region will still be subject to this restriction or the speed limit of 10%. That is where 10% of a bank's lending can be to those who have less than a 20% deposit. It's a bit complex, but in simple terms, no particular impact on Christchurch at this stage. But apart from that, they are targeting the people who invest in properties and the owner-occupiers alike. So, will this work? Well, the banks are very sceptical about it. Landlords are up in air about it, and everybody's holding their breath a little bit to see how this particular challenge from the central bank works out. What will happen if it does work is that we're likely to see interest rates cut, and I think reasonably quickly. A lot of people think it'll be a very big cut when it comes. Other economists are not so sure, so it's a little bit of a mix of views at the moment on that. But it does mean, of course, that if inflation is flat, why are we paying interest rates at the levels that we are currently paying? Well, everybody's worried about that Auckland property market taking off again. Is it a bubble or is it not a bubble? Have we got the makings of a similar situation in Christchurch? Should we have this restraint at all in all other parts of the country outside of Auckland? Why can't they take that limit off completely and make it a bit easier for people to get into property? So anyway, we have this swelling house price thing going through. At about the same time, we have one of our big income earners, dairy, looking so good. So the other thing the Reserve Bank had to talk about was bank debt to a small level of maybe 10% of the big borrowers with the big farms. They say 30% of the dairy debt on farms is held by the people who own about 10% of the farms. And they're really worried about that because these people really need cash flow on a consistent basis, and it's not there at the moment. In a matter of days now, we shall see the first forecast by Fonterra for the 2015-16 year. And this may be when the pain starts to work a little bit into tight knuckles. So we're going to see, I think, a need for all the small towns around Christchurch to really have a hard look at how they encourage employment and job opportunities and all those sorts of things in the next 6 months in case things get a lot worse than they are now. What is part of the problem? Well, two things have occurred in the last 6 months. The Europeans had a restraint taken off them, so they can now push more of their milk around the rest of the world. And last night, at a Christchurch Businessmen's Club after 5 at Strangers Bar, a wonderful complex down in High Street, Cashel Corner, let me get it right, Litchfield High, Manchester Corner, right in the middle of all that desolation. Is a very nice spot down there. And last night, populated by the Business Club, to hear John Penno from Sinlay talk. And the one thing that's been sticking in my mind ever since, he said, the Chinese have got 2 cows to every one of ours, and they've now learned how to milk them better. So their milk is flowing into their system, and that's why it's a little bit harder for our companies to sell up there. And that's why it's so good that Sinlay is working in the direction of these higher value ingredients to overcome that product and looking at a big range of markets outside of China. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
Time now for your region's weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at today's highs. Timaru, you had a high of 15 today. Temuka and Geraldine, you also shared 15 degrees. Methven, Ashburton and Rakaya, you were slightly warmer with 16. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, 16 degrees for your Thursday. Lincoln and Christchurch, also on 16 degrees. Over in Akaroa, you had a high of 16 today.
So what are you doing on Friday?
Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, 16 degrees for you.
Do you get a break?
Taking a look further inland, Calderton, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, 15 for your Thursday. Kaikoura took out the region's high today with 18 degrees. Now to tomorrow's temperatures. Timaru, cloudy tomorrow with rain developing during the morning and freshening cold southerly winds. Tonight's low getting down to 8, tomorrow's high 12 degrees.
For whatever reason.
Ashburton, chilly and damp with morning rain developing and cold winds increasing. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 12.
You don't mean it when you hurt me and if you loved me. For whatever reason.
To the Garden City now. Dry at first with cloudy skies and light southwesterlies, but rain and stronger winds during the afternoon. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 13 degrees. Kaikoura, a dry morning in store but wet in the afternoon with southerly winds becoming strong. Tonight's low 8, tomorrow's high 13 degrees.
It's always nice to see you.
In other areas around the region now, expect a cloudy and rainy day. Temuka and Geraldine, rain with a high of 11. Methven, 13 degrees for you. Rakaya, a high of 12. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, cloudy in the morning with rain in the afternoon and 13 degrees. Over in Akaroa, you can expect a high of 13 degrees. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley, a high of 13 for you also.
For whatever reason. I can't seem to find.
Up north in Calderton, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a high of 13 as well.
You don't mean it when you hurt me and if you love.
Now looking ahead for Canterbury, it's going to be chilly, so wrap up warm. Showers clearing but remaining cloudy and cold on Saturday with gusty southwesterlies, strong at first but easing. Cloudy at first on Sunday, but sunny periods increasing later with cold southwesterlies dying out, northeasterlies developing. Fine at first on Monday, but a period of showers later in the day with cold southwesterlies freshening briefly. Mostly fine and sunny on Tuesday and Wednesday with cold southwesterlies dying out. And that's your weather update for Thursday.
And that's CTV News for Thursday. Have a great evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.